Hey y'all, and welcome back to day 9 of my 12 Days of Christmas series. I don't know what happened, but I cannot find the coverage of me glittering this mug, but it's my basic cheat method. I spray painted the mug white, and then I added angel wings from Diamonds and Dust into my epoxy and coated the mug. And then while it's still wet, I was originally just going to leave it white and work from there. But then I decided I wanted something more. So I searched my stash of glitter and I found this chunky metallic green. It is Lucky Charms from Coral Bay Glitters. And then I just recently got in Cardinal from Sandy's Organized Chaos Glitter, and I decided that they were both the perfect mix to add on this chunky. And then I did add a little bit of this Caladril, I think is how you say it, from Peachy Olive Glitters, just to see if I could bring in a little bit of the silver chunky sparkle, because in my rhinestone mix there is some silvery rhinestones. And I didn't want a heavy coverage with these chunkies. I just wanted it to look more like a splatter paint mix, but instead of being paint droplets, I wanted it to be glitter droplets. So I covered that, and then if there was any on the handle that were kind of sticking out, I moved those with a popsicle stick just so it wouldn't be so hard for having to sand them down later on. Because we added that chunky glitter, I gave it one more coat of epoxy after that was dry, just to make sure everything was smooth when we move into this next step. So once that was all cured, I went in and my thought was to add Mary, Mary, Mary in red and green. And I wanted the reds to just be an outline so you could see through it and see the glitter and the chunky glitter, and then the Mary in the middle in green to be solid. However, when I put it on, I didn't like it. It just was, well, I put it on crooked as well. But I realized that once I put on that green, I didn't like the red. It didn't show up enough. It was just too thin of an offset, maybe. I'm not sure. But I decided ultimately to go in and make them all solid. So it's red, green, red, all in solid. And I just used a red that I used before, that metallic ice vinyl. And then the green is just a regular plain green that I had on hand. Because I put that first one on crooked, I was so worried that I would put it on crooked again. So I was trying different ways to figure out how to put it on there straight. I tried some painter's tape. That didn't work because to me it still looked crooked. So in the end, I just took a marker and I stacked up some painter's tape and drew a line on there, and that was perfect. That way I could line it up. And all I did was line up that first Mary, and then I wiped away the line with just a paper towel and some rubbing alcohol on it, and then it made it easy to line up the Marys underneath it. After that, I gave it 2 final coats of epoxy. Before you can move on to the next step, it needs to be like it is a completely finished tumbler. You cannot add epoxy over rhinestone, so the rhinestoning step needs to be the very last step. The rhinestones I am using are from Diamond Fire Rhinestones, and this mix is called Mistletoe Kisses. It is the perfect match to the chunky glitters and the white of this mug that I created, so it was like it was meant to be and go together. I'm also using Liquid Fusion to adhere the rhinestones to my mug. So my first thought for this, my original idea, was to make it kind of like a waterfall effect from the bottom to the top. So I was going to do just a scatter method around the entire bottom rim of this mug and just kind of have them scattered and waterfally up into the top of the mug. But I started doing that and I didn't like the way it looked. So I kind of spread them around, didn't like that. So I wiped it off and said, let me start over. The glue was still wet, so I just took a paper towel off to the side and wiped them all off and it was fine. So then I decided instead I was just going to do a all over scatter method. Kind of goes with the theme of the scattering glitter. So it was, in the end, I like the way it looked better than my original waterfall idea. So all I did was I would put on a little drop or two of glue, and then I would pick up a rhinestone with this rhinestone picker-upper tool. I just got it on Amazon. I'll make sure to link it down in the description box. I think I got the Liquid Fusion on Amazon too, so I'll link that for you as well as these little tiny trays. And that's it. I just went around, decided I wanted to cluster some close together. Some I just spread out further apart, and I picked different sizes because this mix is a multiple size mix. So I picked some big ones and some little ones to put next to each other and then scattered them around. And in some of the spots, I used some of those chunky glitter colors to add to, like, if I added a green one, I would put it if there was a red chunky glitter spot on there, I would try not to put too many red ones so it wasn't all the same color clumped together. And I added a little bit on the handle and underneath the handle, and that was it. I just went around the whole thing until I was happy with the placement of the rhinestones. So I'm just going to let you watch a little bit here of me adding the rhinestones all over the mug. Those of you who rhinestone whole entire mugs and tumblers, y'all have a new level of patience, because I've done a keychain and I did a pen last year, and I know, I did a bamboo lid once too, and I know that it takes a very long time. So I can't even imagine the amount of hours and patience it takes to do a whole mug or tumbler, but they are beautiful. I do want to do one eventually. I'll probably do it maybe this coming year, just work on it a little at a time here and there. But I still love the look of the rhinestone, so this was my way to be able to add that blingy rhinestone look, but not have to cover it in the entire thing of rhinestones. I absolutely love the way this came out. I love that little bling element, and it's almost like a surprise when you get up close because then you realize that the rhinestones are there. I think I might keep this one. I'm not sure. I'm going to put it on the website, and if you do want to snag it, go grab it before I decide to keep it for myself. I hope that you love this one as much as I do. If you try your hand at a scatter splatter rhinestone like this, I would love to see it. So give me a tag if you do. But in the meantime, give me a like, share, and follow so that you can see all of my upcoming tutorials and videos. And I will leave all of the information down in the description box where to find me and all the products that I used. And I will be back tomorrow for day 10. I know that I missed yesterday. I just couldn't get the video to upload, and we had some things that we were doing, so it just didn't work out, so we skipped a day. But I will be back again tomorrow for another fun tutorial. I will see y'all then. Bye, y'all.